All right, I'm focused. All right. Hello, and welcome to Shacky Chronicles. Super excited that you are back for another episode. Remember, as always, to like, subscribe, and share. That way we can continue to build our connection together. Leave a comment if there's something that you would like to be addressed or a conversation you would like to talk about. Let me hear what's on your mind, what's coming up for you as we dig into these conversations. Today, I am going to begin a conversation on relationships. And this is a huge topic, so I'm probably going to divide this into a couple different segments. I want to ensure that I'm being responsible with this conversation, and at the same time, just honor the depth and the dimensions and just so much that surrounds this topic. Today, I want to talk about, I think it's going to be around healthy relationships and what that looks like. And I'm going to lean into that a little bit because so many, girlfriends and women and so forth, the constant conversation and the desire is to be in partnership or to be in relationship. And from my observation and my conversation is this is such a big part of our desire, and yet still there is a lot of us have no model on what a healthy relationship looks like, or just any ideas around it. And so we are feeling our way through healthy relationship. We are navigating it. And for me, that is okay, right? And that's a dimension and a layer to this whole life thing. We need to be in relationship, family relationship, there's so many different relationships, and we need to be in relationships because that's just how we exist. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve, not just from reading books and having the knowledge intellectually, but relationships is a laboratory for us to work through what it is that we say that we know in our mind, right? And so relationships is necessary to the evolution of our beingness. It's necessary to our becoming. And it is messy at times. It's definitely uncomfortable at times because it's going to challenge us and it's not going to feel great all the time. This is just a part of the process, and it is very challenging. It brings up hurt. It brings up all these issues. Again, want to honor the space of relationship and the depth and dimension that goes with relationship. So let's dive into healthy relationship really quick and kind of touch a little bit on what that could look like. Now, the first thing I want to mention around a healthy relationship is that it allows individuals, and in this context, we could look at lovers, right? It allows lovers to change and to grow in separate ways without feeling threatened. And that's very challenging for so many, right? But a healthy relationship allows the lovers, it allows the individuals to grow and to change in separate ways without feeling threatened. And you're not feeling threatened because you are giving the freedom. You're allowing the expression of your partner to flourish. You're allowing your partner to flourish and to grow and to shine and to bring whatever it is that they need to bring into this world space. So there's a certain level of respect and a certain level of trust and a certain level of honoring each other that happens in a healthy relationship. So in essence, what you're both engaging in is you're experiencing a oneness and at the same time a separateness. And that's being balanced in a healthy relationship. Both oneness and separateness is being experienced at the same time in a healthy relationship. And I just want to interject here that it is important in a healthy relationship to have that open communication, to have that open respect, to have that open heart, to honor each individual as wholes, not as the other half or any such myth, but as a whole in the relationship. A healthy relationship brings out the best qualities in partners. And again, I want to be respectful here. Sometimes it might start out challenging. It might start out where both of you were kind of like at each other, right? But with the patience, the respect, the evolution of the relationship, both can get to that space where you are bringing out the best qualities in each other. You're supporting that. Mature, healthy love invites us into a higher quality of life. Let me say that again. Mature, healthy love invites us into a higher quality of life, right? And so again, honoring and respecting, having the patience, having the self-discipline for each other is super important. Another thing to mention around healthy relationship is experiencing the openness to change and to exploration. A lot of times we get into relationships and we want things to be the same, or things change and there's no conversation around that. And so that brings in a lot of frustration, that brings in, different dynamics in the relationship. Again, you always want to have that space for communication and respect, because you're both individuals and you are both going to be growing and evolving and responding. So how do you evolve and grow and also maintain a healthy relationship? Definitely being open to change, being open to exploration, being open to growth, right? And so life will have a series of changes that's going to happen. And many people will try to cling to things remaining the same. But the intention and the hope here is that you will not just cling to what is the same or how we were in year one to how we are 10 years later, but just giving that respect and honoring each individual in exploring what their purpose is, what life is, what their meaning is, allowing them the opportunity to heal. And I'll bring that in a separate conversation, because relationships actually do give us the opportunity to heal at depth if we allow that to happen. And finally, and I'll put the rest on another video. Healthy relationship invites growth in the other person. Healthy lovers recognize that change is necessary. There's a recognition that change is necessary. They know that true love it encourages growth in the other, including the development of other important relationships without a feeling of jealousy. That's a huge one. Huge one. Healthy lovers know that true love urges and encourages growth in the other, including the development of other important relationships without a feeling of jealousy. That's a big one, because oftentimes we want to be in this cocoon with our partner, but there's other relationships that are being developed. You might get in a relationship with someone who has children. You might get in a relationship with someone who is in a position in their job where, they are leaned on a lot, and these relationships and dynamics are there. Now, how do you then allow for the individual to grow, right? Your partner, how do you allow them to grow in a healthy space, maintain the healthy relationship without that feeling of jealousy, and allowing that feeling of jealousy to penetrate your relationship in a negative way? Maybe something else we're going to have to talk about in another segment. But the key here is healthy relationship will challenge some things within you, the things that you've known, you've observed, you've seen in your bringing. And again, I know by observation and conversation that it is a desire on so many hearts to be in a healthy relationship. Is it possible? It is impossible. But there's some key ingredients, some key tools that we're going to have to learn in order to implement into our relationship. And the learning begins on an individual level, right? A lot of times we want to point our finger on the other person in the relationship and they should be doing this and they should be doing that. But again, my conversation is always on self-discovery. You're going to have to discover for yourself individually what a healthy relationship look like. Begin to work through that, begin to grow through that, begin to implement that in your life so that you can then attract someone to meet that. And then you both open yourself up to helping each other to grow in your magnificent self. So look out for part 2. We're going to continue this conversation on healthy relationships and what that looks like. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. But you will have to be willing to do the work necessary. And the work necessary begins with self-discovery and healing. Check out part 2. Thank you for being here for this conversation. Part 2 of Shaki Chronicles coming out